Good morning to everybody. How is everyone doing? Good morning to everybody. How's everybody doing? I'm Oscar Blue for Border Network News at America's Voice. Good morning to everybody. We wake up in Tijuana with no good news. And for everybody that is watching, I did a video last night that it was taken down by Facebook. I wake up right now and it was not on my platform anymore. So it's a video of me talking to the population and to Tijuana, the people that listen to me, and telling them practically, please stay home. Because it's not creating chaos and it's not creating to us to not exercise our constitutional right. It is a difference between what is going on with the United States and what is happening in our country. There's a huge difference, and I will tell you why. The situation in Tijuana is getting really bad. The hospitals are full. Doctors are infected. Nurses are infected. The difference with Mexico and the United States, or Tijuana with San Diego, California, is that you guys have better possibilities on getting a ventilator, better attention at hospitals. And it's a world of a difference. It's two worlds of a difference. And Tijuana's going right now through a situation that is really difficult. We told you so, that it was a lie that we were prepared. We are not prepared for this pandemic. It is more than obvious now that we are not prepared for this pandemic. And why am I saying this? Because there's two videos circulating and they're viral, and they're actually accurate and assertive videos. And there's two videos of a guy that works inside the general hospital, and there's another one that works inside another state hospital, that they're going in and, practically in one floor is full with dead bodies of COVID. It is sad how the situation is being handled, and our doctors, as I have been telling you in the week, our doctors have been filtering messages of help, claiming SOS, help, save us. Practically telling the population and telling the government and telling our city to help. And they don't have the capacity, they don't have the species to provide, they don't have the equipment, they don't have the insumes, they are paying out of their own pocket to get the mouth protection, to get the hats, to get the boots, to get the gloves. And this is the irresponsibility, like I told everybody last night, in my country, in my language. Like I told everybody, this starts, it is not the time to blame. It is not the time to blame, but it's going to be a time that somebody's going to be held accountable for all of this. And the one that needs to be held accountable for all of this is the person that told everybody in the country that everything is all right. That we were prepared for this pandemic. That we had the insumes and we had the equipment and we had the specialists, and we had the doctors. Right now, every general hospital, a lot of people are telling me, why don't you go to the general hospital, Oscar? You will actually practically, if you try to record closely in the general hospital over here in Mexico, it's different than in the United States. They just tell you, hey, the HIPAA law, move. No, over here is different. And I'm a little bit concerned about the situation. Why? Because the elderly over here, the people over 60, they're letting them die, practically. I will use that language now. They're letting them die, and they're letting them without no ventilators, because there's going to be a point where people over 70 and 80, 60, 70, and 80, that they need the ventilator, but you got a 19, 20-year-old, and you're like, well, life expectancy for the one that is 20 and in comparison to the one that is 60, 70, or 80 is, they're going to choose sides. They're going to choose who is going to go first. And this is the situation over here. There's a video of a famous comedian also that somebody came out this morning and said that it was a lie, that there's no doctor by that name, that it was all orchestrated. If it was a lie, or if it is not a lie, let me tell you one thing. There's a video of a famous comedian in Mexico, really famous comedian, one of the most famous in history, and he did a video last night about that he has a friend, a doctor friend, that works on this general hospital. And the doctor, his friend that works in the general hospital over here in Tijuana, he wrote him a letter, a text to him. And writing him a letter, a text to him, and the letter says, I'm claiming for help. We don't have the insumes, we don't have equipment, we don't have this. This is the list that we need. I'm talking to you, Eugenio Derbez, because you are a public figure. If you can use your platform to ask for help. This is no time for joking around with this guy, really. There's no time for joking around with this guy. I believe that the letter was legit. Now, all of a sudden, this morning, somebody from that particular clinic comes out and says, we don't know no doctor by that name. We don't know nobody by that name. And that is a lie, which everybody knows. You cannot fool the Mexican public anymore. You cannot fool the Tijuana public anymore. Everybody knows that you don't have the enough equipment, that you don't have the enough people to work and to take care of this. Why are you trying to cover something that is already a problem? And you're creating a bigger problem by covering it. The ignorance, really. And how the government has control of not... Don't say anything. Please don't say anything. Don't say absolutely nothing. This is how they have all the people over here threatened. The nurses, the doctors, they're threatening their lives. And they are basically telling them, you know what? If you talk, if you say something, not only you're going to lose your your job, but you can probably, be threatened with you and your family. And this is how it's getting bad over here. And yesterday, there was, a big video of this comedian. And practically, all of us, we stay over here asking ourselves, like, what the hell, bro? Is this really happening? Is this really happening? Because a lot of companies, they are not understanding. If you're not essential, you need to close. And they're cheating on the law to make it essential. 1. 2, irresponsible citizens. We saw a party last night in a park that is called La Presa, and all these people getting drunk and socializing, and then the police comes after us, and they're running away from the police. And they just told you the ignorance of like what the hell's going on really. More than 50 people and upper, you can't be socializing, you can't be having a party, you need social distance. These people don't care. It's now that we need to understand, it's now in our city that we need to understand that we have a problem. It's not that we don't have a problem, people. We have a problem. And they are not, the citizens, they're not understanding. If this got worse, it's because we did not understand the seriousness of this. Doctors are suffering, hospitals are full. The time frame between attending and not attending a hospital is between 30 to 45 minutes to an hour. They're waiting outside almost 3 hours sometimes. They're waiting outside to get attention. You're talking about third age people, elderly people, that they are basically dying outside without a ventilator. And it's really sad. It's really sad. It takes you to a place that we give the news, us that we fight constantly against the system over here, the government, us that we are against how they're handling the situation, us that we know that this is a strategy to decrease the population. And we are seeing it in front of our eyes, and we cannot do anything, because if we go outside and we panic, if we go outside and we get infected, you can bring it back to the family. It's sad. It's sad. And right now, I got a friend of mine that works in one of the clinics. Well, I got two friends of mine. And one of them is a nurse, and the other one works there. He works as a social worker. And it's really when you hear a man that is a nurse, and you're talking to him on the phone, as I was talking to him last night, really late, like around 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning last night. I was talking to him. I haven't talked to him because I was calling him and his phone was ringing and ringing and ringing and ringing and not answering. I was concerned. So I sent a message to his mom, and his mom is like, okay, I'll give you another number. I got that number and I called him, and he's like, I'm not answering the other number, bro. Like, what's going on? And I'm like, how are you? And he's like, bro, I am. And he started crying. Like, I can't handle it. We can't handle it. It's getting out of our hands. So it's true that, there's no room. It's like, bro, it's not that there's no room. It's just the situation itself. It's just too much. And, it's now AMLO's asking for ventilators to President Trump, 10,000 ventilators. Man, I don't have nothing to say about that particular individual that is so-called president of ours. I have nothing to say. It is a complete embarrassment to our country. He is a complete embarrassment to our country. He's not a leader, and he doesn't concern for the Mexican people. After you're telling people to go out and socialize, and this was spreading strong, after you tell people that an amulet can cure this, after you tell people that social distance and you go shake the hands of the mom of a Chapo, after you tell all this stuff, now you're telling me that you want to go and ask for Trump for help for ventilators. Trump needs ventilators. But I will say to this. hopefully, and first thanks God that Trump helps Mexico with the ventilators. Hopefully. You know, I don't think that AMLO deserves the help. And I don't think that he's the one that deserves the help, really. Because he's the most irresponsible president in the world. But I'm not talking about AMLO, I'm talking about our people, the Mexican people. And hopefully, you know, this will be resolved and he can help us with some ventilators. If he can't, we understand his decision, you know, because why? Because the United States is in a crisis. The United States is in a crisis. And, you know, all these conspiracies about ventilators and all these conspiracies about monitors, you know, I don't want to hear them. I don't want to hear them, really. Because there are conspiracies. It's not the truth. There are conspiracies. So, whatever the situation goes, and whatever the situation happens, you know, the city of Tijuana is going through a really hard time right now. American people first. I understand your statement. I really understand your statement. The American people first. I really understand. And by in a way, I completely understand, but you cannot, I don't want to get into a fight with nobody right now. Really. You can't hold the United States in a bubble and not help. You know, the United States has always helped other countries. So I understand your statement. They're saying, hey, you know what, Americans first. Okay, let us clear this pandemic away. And if the United States has the possibility, if they have the possibility of helping another country, thank you so much. If they don't, we understand. This is because of the irresponsibility of our president. He knew what was happening in China. We saw what was happening in Italy. And Italy was telling us, watch it. We saw your president is responsible for you. Don't bash our president. Who's bashing your president? Who is bashing your president? Who is bashing your president? When have I bashed President Trump? Rosemary Pilon Mitchell. Who's bashing your president? Can somebody tell me right now, in all of this that I've been talking, have I bashed the president of the United States? Once. Who? Who's bashing your president? Who's doing it? Are you not listening? Do I speak a different language? Who's bashing? It's amazing the ignorance. It's amazing the ignorance. You don't understand English? The situation in our country is difficult. We understand that our president of Mexico, he is an irresponsible president. This is all his fault because of what the situation in Mexico is right now. He's asking for ventilators and for help of the United States. I told everybody last night in a video. What do you think Trump is going to do when you're asking for help, when you, the president of Mexico, signed the Global Compact of Immigration and bombarded the borders? 1. 2. When you are crossing metric tons of cocaine through the border in agreement with Maduro, Nicolas Maduro, that is the one that now Trump is going after, the socialist, number one socialist in the world, Nicolas Maduro. The number one socialist in the world, Nicolas Maduro. And what do you think he's going to think about you? What do you think? Our president has signed the Global Compact of Immigration, has flooded our country with irregular migrants, and has flooded the country of the United States with irregular people also. Has done that so many times. This president signed that Global Compact, and not only that, he's friends with Nicolas Maduro, the number one leader of socialism in the world. The one that is on a conspiracy with the greatest cartel that is called La FARC, the Colombian cartel, that there's flooding cocaine through the world. And our president of Mexico is working, and it's more than evidence that they're friends with the Sinaloa cartel. And now AMLO's asking for President Trump's help. I understand if Trump says, the hell with you, man. You've been working with Nicolas Maduro, that is the biggest socialist in the world. Not only that, if you're working with Nicolas Maduro, the biggest socialist in the world, we know that you're involved in the cocaine business. And not only that, if you are working with him and you're signed the Global Compact of Immigration, you're flooding my borders with irregular people without documents. So now you want me to help you? And this is the most amazing thing, that if Trump helps us, and if he helps us, man, it's the grace of God. He's not going to help that socialist leader. He's going to help the Mexican people. I thought that Peña Nieto signed the Global Compact. Yes, Peña Nieto signed it, but AMLO reaffirmed the Global Compact of Immigration. AMLO could have said, no, I don't want it. Get out. AMLO could have said that. No, he wanted it because he's part of the Foros of Pablo. Let's read a little bit of what is the Foros of Pablo. This is unbelievable how some of y'all are talking the day after the Easter. I don't know if you're referring to me. I'm giving the news. And this is the situation right now. I understand that Americans first. And like I can understand, Mexicans first. But right now, if we as neighbors, if Trump wants to help us with the ventilators, my God, he is going to be a grace of God. If not, he's a grace of God also. I'm going to tell you, he's the only one that is fighting against socialism. And in the eyes of the world, he's the only one that is thinking about his people first. That is what it is. And then exactly, Eric Cantrell says one statement right here. It's not about AMLO, it's about the Mexican people. Yes, it is. And it is, it's really, okay, Alicia, gracias. Thank you. It's really amazing how we don't understand how the situations are in our country of Mexico, and how immediately we make really ignorant statements. And I'm talking clearly about the situation that is happening. Hopefully, the United States is going through a crisis right now. As we were asking Anthony, my partner, conservative Anthony, and myself, we were practically not making fun of AMLO, but we were like, this guy is asking for help when he did this, when he did that. And, and in a way, hold on 1 second right here, people. In a way, we are really concerned about what's going on over here. We are really concerned, as you guys are concerned in what is going on in your country. And, it's sad that it's overpassing the doctors, it's overpassing the hospitals, it's overpassing everything. I will read some comments right here, because there's some comments. The same stuff you use for the flu will help with COVID. Eat right and exercise. Right now, that doesn't help. That doesn't cure immediately. We love you, Oscar. Praying for the Mexican people. Thank you so much. Mexico's our neighbor. We need to help our next door neighbors. I'm the one. Why does the United States need help other countries? So the United States doesn't need anybody, right? That's the idea that you have. The United States doesn't need anybody. I just want to hear you out. You're like the Hunger Games. You want to put everything like in a bubble. That's the US. You don't need nobody. That's your idea? Really? God bless everybody that is watching. The situation over here is really difficult in our city. As I have said so many times before, that we need to stand together to fight socialism, and we need to stay together to fight the globalists. And, the globalization is happening. Globalization is happening. As we are together, as I'm Mexican and you're a United States citizen, our obligation is to inform of what is happening in our country with the globalist agenda and the socialist agenda. And we've been doing that. We've been exposing that. We've been exposing child trafficking also. And we've been more than, interest of telling the audience that this is not just only about one country and then another country. This is about us fighting it together. This is about us fighting it together. As we are seeing over here how our doctors are being overpassed, how our nurses are being overpassed, and how, this virus is overpassing the capacities of the hospitals. It's not a lie. It's the truth. We're seeing it over here in our hospitals. So, let's see. Let's see what will happen. What decision will the President of the United States do? And what decision of the President of the United States take? If he's going to sell the ventilators, let's see if we can sell them to Mexico. So, if you don't want to listen, Cheryl Murphy Craven, if you're talking about me, get out of the feed. So God bless everybody that is watching. I will be doing a live feed later on this afternoon at a particular place. And I will be giving you guys information about what is happening in our country. It's not easy to talk about all this kind of stuff because it's not easy to handle it. And it's not easy to talk about all these things because it's really difficult to understand what is happening. Really, it is difficult. It is difficult for me to say, hey, you know what? That our president is our president of Mexico has been committing mistakes. He has been making mistakes, and it's because of all his mistakes that we are in this predicament. It is what it is. We put our president of Mexico put us in this predicament. He put us in this predicament. And he put us in this particular situation that we are. And he put us in this situation that we are because he told everybody that it's okay, that we were prepared and that we had the insumes and then we had all the equipment as possible to beat the coronavirus. And it was a lie. We already know that our hospitals are not, they don't have the capacity for just normal sicknesses. And now you bring all this pandemic. It's just crazy. So, hopefully we will see what happens in this week. We need to stay strong and we need to pray. And we need to keep our faith. And to all those hatred people that they come into my live feed, God bless you. Really, God bless you. Hopefully, God will enter your hearts. Stay safe, everybody. We will talk later on this afternoon. Now we got to wear these masks to go to work. K95. KN95. We need to wear this. And I need to wear a white suit to do my, my audits, my environmental audits. And I need to wear some protection on my boots and all this kind of stuff to work. God bless you all, people. Let's stay strong and let's do as much as we can. Stay safe and always remember peace and love, everybody, because always your country's first.